Hey everybody, welcome back to Heartland Productions. Something a little bit different today. I'm not going to be making pizza. I'm going to be talking about my new CasaBrews 5700 Pro espresso machine. So stay tuned to the very end. So if you're new to the channel, I typically post videos of pizza ovens and making pizza or cooking food, etc. But one of my other passions is drinking good espresso. So I'm very excited to test out this machine. I had some bad luck a few weeks ago where my DeLonghi espresso machine decided to finally die on me. I've been using it for a couple years. I absolutely loved it. It was a great little machine. And just by chance, CasaBrews happened to reach out to me that same day and ask if I would like to test out one of their new machines. This is their top of the line 5700 Pro, and this thing is pretty amazing. I was originally very skeptical because, again, if you've seen my channel, I only test and I only post videos of products that I actually use myself and I wholeheartedly recommend and like. So they have to be very good quality. They have to be very high quality for the price point. Doesn't mean they have to always be expensive, but I feel like you have to get what you're paying for. And I was a little bit hesitant at the beginning because I hadn't heard of this brand and I assumed it was going to be just some cheap kind of Chinese knockoff version where I was going to get it and say, you know what, I don't really like it, etc. But I was pleasantly surprised. This thing has met all my expectations and even gone even further. I'm not a coffee making expert by any means, so I'm not going to go step by step and show you exactly how you're supposed to make coffee because there's a lot of you out there that are much better at doing it. I enjoy drinking coffee. I enjoy buying good, using good ingredients. So I'm gonna really give you just a basic walkthrough of this machine, and then I wanna give you my pros and cons of why I like the machine, some of the things I think they could do a little bit better. As I mentioned, this is the CasaBrews 5700 Pro model. They also have quite a handful of different models. They have a few some without the grinder, some with, etc. The reason I wanted this was kind of the closest model that replicated all the things that I had with my DeLonghi, which I loved. I wanted to have a grinder built into it. This one does. I wanted to have the capability, kind of a steam wand, etc. This one has all that. I wanted to have a large water reservoir. It has an LED screen on it. The list price for this machine is around $899.99. I don't think you're gonna pay that for it. If you're interested in this too, they did provide me with a 45% discount code. So if this is something that you're looking for and you're in the market for a new espresso machine, make sure you go to the description in my video, get my discount code so you get the 45% off. One of the other great things compared to all the other manufacturers is that you get tons of accessories. This thing comes with everything you can need and even more. One of the things that really surprised me that I wasn't expecting, it actually comes with a backup spare grinder. So for any reason, the grinder that comes installed, if it breaks or stops working, or swap it out with the backup grinder. This is a pretty amazing grinder. It has 15 different grind settings on it. They're identical, so amazing flexibility, amazing levels of grind. My previous model, my previous espresso machine only had a handful of grind settings, so this is by far a much better grinder. You get your container to steam your milk in. This is a very small one, so this is only going to be basically for one drink, one cappuccino, one latte. You have just enough for one person. Standard stainless steel, nothing really special here. Another good thing is it comes with a standard 58 millimeter portafilter. This is kind of the standard, nothing crazy special. It's very heavy duty stainless steel. The one thing I wasn't too crazy impressed with it is the handles, kind of plasticky, but again, for what you're paying, this is a great portafilter. It comes with two baskets, so you get the standard double shot and then a single shot. I found that the single shot really wasn't that helpful. It's kind of too small. The double shot one kind of meets the needs. I think this is going to be what most people end up using. It also comes with a tamper, which is again heavy duty stainless steel. It comes with this tamper mat, which is pretty good. The only issue is it has kind of a straight 90-degree angle on the edge, which most countertops have, like mine all have rounded, so I have to turn it upside down. But it's nice to to set the tools on and to tamp down the coffee. It also comes with this distributor. Again, this normally sells for on anywhere else. I mean, you're gonna pay $20, $30 for this. This comes added. This is great to kind of even out the coffee when you pour it. So when you grind the coffee, you just sit this in. It fits perfectly on the 58mm portafilter. You spin it, it distributes and levels out the coffee grounds perfectly before you tamp them down in. Both of these are very nice quality, very heavy duty. Comes with all the standard tools you would expect. This is one of the things I really like about this machine compared to my other one is that the hopper is removable. So that's important because somebody maybe is visiting that wants a decaf coffee, something like that, or a different roast. This one, I can literally just turn it and it just pops right off and I can put it right back on. So the very first thing you do is just push this button right here. It turns on everything. You're good to go. Next thing you'd want to do, well, obviously after you clean everything up, open up the hopper. You want to put some beans in there. These are some medium roast beans from Costa Rica. Seal that back up. And I'm not going to do a step-by-step tutorial because there are tons of videos out there showing people how to make coffee, and there's probably a lot of people that are much better than me. I just wanted to show you the basic things with this machine. Here's kind of the LED screen. Let me show you some of the functions. So if you push the menu button, you can get single or double, or it has single and double here. You don't really need that. And you keep going to the right, you get to the temperature one. You can see that one. And then push here. And then you can control the temperature up and down. I like my coffee on the hottest setting. I like hotter coffee. If you, depending on your roast, if you want to do that, you can put that down to cooler or in between, whichever you like. Push it again to confirm. Then we go back to menu. And then here is the grind amount. This is how many seconds it's going to grind. So right now it's saying for a single, you're going to get 14 seconds. If you want to adjust that, you can adjust it to anything. They recommend for the single ground setting to start with 11 to 13 grams. And for a double, they recommend 18 to 21 grams. I found that 16 to 18 is perfect. Anything more than that and the portafilter is just completely overflowing with coffee and it's almost too much. There is a max line right here. When I was trying it with 20 grams, even when I used the tamper to tamp down the coffee, I couldn't get it below the max line. It was way too full. So I've been using 16 for here. So here's what I do. So once you get the temperature set up, you decide you're going to make a double shot of espresso. Here's what I would recommend. You're going to turn it on and it's going to default to single. You can see it right here. If you push this in, see how it changes it to double, and then it's the second, so this 20 seconds. What I would do is I'd recommend starting at 16 first, below the 18 to 20 range. This will give you a little bit less. Then if you push this, then it defaults every time you go on to double, it's going to be 16 seconds. Same thing for single. If you want to reduce that to 14 maybe to start off, push it. So then 16 is set for the double and 14 is locked in for single. That's basically the amount of seconds the grinder will grind your coffee. I'm not obsessive enough of this where I don't measure the grams of coffee to see how many grams per second. I would rather just kind of mess around with this and find the perfect, for me, 16 seconds of grinding is the perfect amount to fill the double basket in my portafilter, and it gives me the exact strength of coffee that I like. Compared to some of the other machines out there, there's a lot of fancier machines, kind of that $800 to $1,500 range, especially like Breville, things like that. Some of the nicer, higher up DeLonghi's that are what they call semi-automated or an automatic type espresso machine. Those are great because you basically just fill it with water, put coffee grounds in it, you push a button and it's done. This one is definitely more on the manual side of it. You have to adjust. It has all the grind adjustments. It has all the different seconds for how long it's going to grind. That's going to give you different amounts of grams of coffee. So depending on how weak or strong you like your coffee, what type of roast the beans are. To be successful with this machine, you really have to try it out. I would start with the basic settings that the manual recommends. It says for the seconds for a double shot, it says it between 18 and 20 grams. I found that 16 was better for me. So you might want to start at 18, try that out. If that's too much coffee or too strong, reduce that to 16. If it's too hot, make the water colder with the menu setting. Just experiment around with it. And then also the grinding setting, they recommend that you start off with the grinder between 7 and 10. So I put it right in the middle at 8. I started there and that's been working perfectly for me. Here's the grinder. Like I say, it goes all the way up to 15, all the way down to 1 as the finest setting. 8 has been working perfectly for me. Again, this is going to change depending on your coffee, the roasting. I would always probably keep this anywhere between the 5 and 10 range. I wouldn't go much, anything less than 5. It's going to be too powdery and I don't think it's going to make a good espresso shot. Here's this button here is kind of the quick release if you do need to unscrew and remove this and swap out the grinder to clean it or anything like that. Or when you first open this out of the box, this is the portafilter guard that goes underneath the grinder. It just literally snaps right on and it has this little button right here. So when you put the portafilter in like this, the front of the portafilter hits that little tab and that actually auto dispenses based on how many seconds you have the grind setter for. So this is very handy. You just basically set it in, push it just a little tiny bit with your hand and let go, and it auto dispenses. Let's put this back on. Very easy. I have it set for double and mine is at 16 seconds. So this just goes in like this, just slides in nice and gentle. You let go, it rests like that. And you basically just push it in and let go. See, it's counting down from 16 seconds. This is what I was talking about. See, at 16, look how full that thing gets. Can you imagine if you do the 18 to 20, if it recommends it? At 20, it was just dumping coffee all over the place. Pull this straight out. You can see there, once again, that's 16 seconds. That is a pretty hefty pour right there. It seems like a lot, but it's the perfect amount for a double shot. This distributor comes in handy too. You can see the grooves. You just set that on top, just spin it around. You will lose a little bit of coffee. Give it a spin. Brush off the coffee grounds. You want to get the coffee grounds off these little tabs so it locks in better. You want to use the tamper. You just want to press gently, and I like to twist it a little bit just to smooth things out. Look at that, a perfect puck. It's going to make a perfect puck coffee. Let's put this in. Very simple. Just twist it, put my coffee cup right here. Obviously, you want to make sure your cup is right in the center. You can also do, if you want to do a double with 2 small espresso cups, you can put them side by side. And the benefit of this portafilter is it has the double pour, so you can pour 2 glasses at once. Once everything's ready, all you do is hit the double shot button. You can see there it has a single and double. Just hit the double. Also, you can watch the countdown up here. We're looking for around 30 seconds for the perfect pour. Look at the crema. Looks like a great coffee. We're right at 26 seconds, 27, 28, 31 seconds. I'll consider that good. Usually between 25, 35 is always where I want to be. 30 is kind of the perfect one for me. Look at the crema on this one. If you're not familiar with espresso, it's almost like a creamy froth. That's what they call in Italian the crema. Everything resets when you're done. Again, see how it always defaults now? It's saying double 16, so the next time I make it, I don't have to twist anything. I just check to make sure it's on double still. I put the portafilter there and it automatically pours it exactly how I want it. So this is just a traditional double espresso, as simple as that. Let's say you want an americano with hot water in it. That's also very easy. You have the steam wand right here, and here is the dial. So you have steam ready, off, and then hot water at the bottom. You just put the wand over and you're going to rotate this all the way down until it says hot water. hot water. You just fill it up as far as you want until it's done. Right there, then turn that back to off. Now you have a classic Americano. When you're done, just reverse the step, turn it to the left, take the coffee off, put it in the knock box. And that's how simple it is. This thing, like I mentioned, much better quality than I was expecting. I thought it was going to be much cheaper. It's very nice stainless steel. Makes a great coffee with great crema. This is the Americano. Amazing coffee, tastes delicious. Now let me show you quickly if you like milk drinks. I'm not a big fan of cappuccino or latte, but some of my family members are, so I've had to learn to kind of have to make some. So let me show you how easy it is to use the steam one. I'll make you a quick cappuccino. So to make a cappuccino in this case, you're gonna need your stainless steel pitcher. This is a very small one. It does have measurement indicators in it. You wanna turn this from off. You wanna turn it to steam ready. And the light will start flashing. Once that light is solid, then you can rotate it up to steam and it'll actually make the steam one start going off. Now you can see it's turned to solid. That means that the boiler is heated up properly for steam, so you can go ahead and start. I turn it all the way on to high, hold it like this. I'm not going to pretend to be an expert. I just know you put the wand in slightly. You want to get the milk to stir up and froth a little bit, but not get too bubbly. I usually do this long enough until it's too hot to hold. So it usually takes just a few seconds. It's been about 30 seconds, give or take. It's just getting hot now. When it's too hot to hold more than a couple seconds, then you know it's done. All right, I'm going to turn it off. And as soon as you're done, you want to make sure you clean the wand. So get a damp cloth or a towel, clean any steamed milk off. Get the bottom, it's going to be very hot, so you don't want to touch it with your bare hand. Clean it off. And I put it over that hole, and I actually run hot water, turn it back to the hot water setting, run hot water out of it, dry it off one more time, kind of clean off the machine so it's ready for the next time. Here you go. So whether you like just espresso, an americano, cappuccino, lattes, this is kind of the one-stop shop machine. Take a sip of this coffee, see how it tastes. Very good. I did want to show you quickly the water reservoir. It just snaps right on the back. It's telling me I took it off. This is very large. I can drink definitely, I make a minimum 2 double espressos every day. This will last the entire week. I like the lid opens up both ways. So depending on your dispenser, whatever's easier for you, this opens up like that all the way and flush. So first time I've seen that design, it's a very handy design, or flips up that way. It snaps right back on the back. So as I mentioned, this retails for $899. I think that's a pretty fair price compared to the other ones like the DeLonghi's, the Breville's, the Sage and Breville, it's the same company. That's about what you pay for this level of a machine. This is a lesser known brand. They're just starting out. It's originally from California. I had low expectations. The build quality of this was probably my #1 pro. This is much better than I expected. Another pro is I love the fact that I can take the hopper on and off easily if I want to change out the beans. I love the amount of grind settings. It allows you to adjust it, micro adjustments. So no matter what type of roast, what type of bean you're using, I think you're going to find the perfect grind setting. I love the fact that I can change the doses by seconds. So again, like it defaulted at 18 for a double shot. I actually wanted to reduce it so I could easily dial that down to 16 seconds. That's exactly the way I like it. So this allows you, if you want to customize your coffee more, you want to have that ability to kind of make micro adjustments. I think for the price point, this is probably one of the better machines at allowing you to do this micro adjustments. To get that level on the DeLonghi and the Breville, you're looking at least the same price, if not more, especially if you want the LED display. That's going to cost you quite a bit. So those are some of my major pros. Again, the build quality is the #1. It's much nicer than my DeLonghi. My DeLonghi had the majority of the back was all plastic, and a lot of the pieces were very small and compact. And then the portafilter was a much smaller size. It wasn't the standard 58 millimeters, so it was almost impossible to find to upgrade things like that. It came with, and it was, again, had lots of plastic parts. I'm probably going to make a video next, sometime in the near future, comparing both of my machines. I still have the old one out in the garage, even though it's broken. I'll do a side by side. Let me know in the comments if you'd be interested in seeing that. If not, maybe I won't. Another pro is this thing makes amazing crema. The cream, the frothiness of the coffee, every single shot I pour out of this thing, it's without a doubt, it's perfect every single time. I haven't made one bad coffee. Once I got it dialed in the way I wanted it, every single one has had perfect crema on it. So it's been amazing. So far, so good. I've used this every day for going on 2 weeks now, and it hasn't let me down once. So now quickly, some of the cons. It's not a perfect machine. I think at the price point with my discount, if you use my 45% discount code, you're gonna get this thing at around like that $500 price point, maybe a little less. I don't know, I don't remember the exact price, but 45% off, you're getting an amazing machine. The one thing, kind of one of the cons is that it's relatively noisy. It makes a lot of noise. So if you're looking for a very quiet espresso machine, this probably is not your best option. The one thing, it has a single boiler for hot water. So it uses hot water to make your espresso shot, and then you have to warm up the boiler again to steam. It only takes a few seconds. I mean, it's less than 30 seconds, but for some people that's a deal breaker, that they want to instantly be able to inject hot water or to use the steam wand. Or sometimes people want to do it simultaneously. They want to be dosing out or pouring their shot of espresso, and then at the same, while that one's pouring, they want to be using the steam wand on the one they made before. With this machine, you have to do one or the other. So you have to do the espresso shot, then you have to turn the dial, you have to temper, wait about 30 seconds for it to get to temperature, then you can froth your milk after the fact. So not a big deal for me. Again, it's only 30 seconds. It's not a big deal too for somebody for making coffee at home. I think that's very expectable, no big deal. Another thing that I wasn't too crazy, this is the portafilter that comes with it. Again, it's very heavy duty stainless steel, but the one thing I didn't like is I feel they skimped a little bit on the handle. The handle's kind of a very cheap plastic and has a seam on each edge of it. So when you feel it, you feel that seam. And out of all the components and pieces of this, the only thing that felt cheap to me was this handle. So what I did, I decided to upgrade it with this open bottom portafilter. They actually sell this too. You can upgrade your machine for, I think it's around $59. So this one is 58 millimeters too. So I upgraded to this one, and it's bottomless. So you can see the crema and the coffee pouring out when you're pouring your shot. So I think this one looks a lot sharper. So for $59, this one was an easy one for me. This is very good quality. I love the handle. It's just so soft. It's so nice looking. It snaps right in there too. And it really makes the machine look it elevates it even more. Just looks awesome. It works awesome. And for me, this was, if I would recommend any upgrades, I would say to upgrade to this portafilter. It's just a lot nicer quality. The other one works amazing. It makes great coffee. If you're wanting to pour two shots of coffee and two at the same time, you really have to have this one because it has the double funnel on the bottom, so you could pour two single espressos with one shot. Another thing, this is like, I'm getting very nitpicky. It's nothing to do with the use of it. When you get it to it has a huge sticker right here and then another sticker right here. They were very difficult to get off. I started peeling it off and it was leaving residue and all kinds of stuff. So it was kind of a pain. So I got a hair dryer, I hair dried it, warmed them up. And then after I did that, I was able to peel the stickers right off. I also got some, whatever it's called, Goo Be Gone, or some of the goo remover liquid to remove some of the stickiness that was still on the stainless steel. So I'm not sure if you're supposed to remove all the stickers, but for me, it just didn't look good. So I removed all the stickers. I wish they wouldn't have done that. I would have rather just had it in the manual and not had stickers, but it's nice because it gives you all the steps, but it's just kind of a pain to have to remove all those. Last but not least, the one thing, the on and off, it clicks. It doesn't have, the off setting doesn't have a definitive tactical click. So when you're turning it from hot water to off, you have to actually be looking at it to make sure you have it in the off position, because you could easily turn it too far and go from hot water back to the steam ready, like I just did right there. So I wish it had a tactical like click so when you knew it was on off. All in all, I would definitely recommend this machine. If you're looking for that mid to upper level home espresso machine. You want something that has less automation because you want to be able to kind of make micro adjustments. You're kind of like me where you're passionate about coffee, you're excited, you want to learn more about it, but you don't want to have to spend thousands of dollars buying like an Italian machine and having to measure out every single gram and weigh everything. That's great for some people. For me, I like coffee, but I don't have that much time and passion to invest that much. This is kind of a great in-between machine where you have some automation, where it's very easy, it auto pours. Once you set it the way you want it, it's very consistent, but it allows you to do those micro adjustments so you can really dial it in to get that perfect coffee that you're looking for every morning. I will put the discount code below and a link for this machine. Check it out too. They also have a bunch of other great machines. If you want one without a grinder, you can get one even cheaper. They have much more basic models. I mentioned they also have the vintage model. I'm going to try to see if I can test that one out too, because it just looks awesome. The only reason I didn't get that one is that my countertop space, I don't have room for a grinder and the espresso machine, so I wanted one with a built-in grinder, and this was really the machine for me. Let me know if you have any questions or concerns. I only put videos up of things that I actually like and I wholeheartedly recommend, and this is going to be one of them. This was a very pleasant surprise. CasaBrews is definitely going to be on my list. When people ask me for kind of a good brand, I'm definitely going to recommend this brand. I think they have far exceeded my expectation, and it's much better than I anticipated. Thanks for watching. Stay tuned for more. Let me know if you want me to do the comparison with my old DeLonghi machine too. Thanks. Bye.